Let's try this one more time real quick. See if everything is working. Sorry about that. I had an issue actually with my laptop itself. So just let me know if the audio is coming through okay. And we will check this real quick here and see what's going on. Let me know if you need me to change the volume at all, either me or the gameplay, and we'll rock and roll. Mario wins the sky, so I don't remember this level entirely. So hopefully this is working fine. You guys can hear the game, you guys can hear me. Just like I mentioned, having a little bit of an issue sleeping tonight and felt a little restless, so I figured I haven't streamed in a while, so we'll fire up the stream and see what happens. And it was completely worthless of me jumping over there with the, not jumping, but flying over there with the cannon. Yeah, I'm just, the last bit has been kind of crappy for me, so I just needed to go to bed for a bit, I think, and chill out. I just kind of irritate too with the what is this? Mario Wings to the Sky. There we go. I'm feeling like I haven't been getting everything out of the channel like I've needed to lately either, and letting people down there, so just wanted to get some fresh content up. I'm wondering, do I have to actually go up into the other cannon to shoot to the island up in the sky to get to this next level? I just feel stupid too for not getting the, or just an issue with the audio, where I did just reset the sound card to get to work right, and right in the face. Stupid. Hope the rest of you guys have had a better week than what I've been dealing with. So, alright, I think I just freed the chain chomp. Alright, good deal.
Here we go!
To the sky. There's gotta be something with that other island. Gotta be. So there's that. Shoot Mario up and see if we can get up here. Not quite. I figure after 25 years of playing this game, I'd realize that, nope, you can't do that. Now, keep trying. I do have some exciting news coming to the channel here soon, too. Actually just got contacted by two different... And one I consider to be, well, actually I consider both to be distributors that will have some cool stuff over the next couple weeks to feature on the channel. Both for those looking for gaming equipment and those also looking to kind of help you out with your YouTubing. I'm not liking this camera angle right now. Hey, J-Love. Thanks for those who had stopped in just a few minutes ago with those technical difficulties. Sorry about that. Like I say, I just needed to restart my laptop completely, and that took care of it. There was just an error with my audio card that was going on, and that took care of it. But yep, just figured we'd throw in some Mario 64. Yeah, stop, good. Now, what does the sign say? Sign, everywhere, sign. Yeah. Now I'm seeing the stream buffering too, which I don't know why that's going. Why is the stream buffering? Here real quick. What Retrovision cables am I using for the N64? I am using the SNES cables, and something just happened there. I'll check here. I do have my system RGB-modded, so I did have to do that to make the make everything work properly. What I'm going to do, you guys are going to see things flicker for a second. Hang on. I'll make one really quick change. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. Alright, hopefully that clears it up. I just changed the stream from 60 frames a second to 30, so hopefully that'll clean things up a little bit. I actually don't drink. I know a lot of people don't believe that, me being from Milwaukee and all, but I actually do not drink. No, just little insomnia is all. So just had the last couple of weeks been pretty stressful with the full-time job. I don't feel like I'm really doing everything I need to on the channel lately, just because of other things going on, and just got a lot on my mind. Phone shows at 3%. That's awesome. You're a non-smoker, non-drinker type 8. Yep. Oh, hey, Phil. Yeah, it's just one of those things where, you know, I grew up in a house with smokers. My mom and dad both smoked, and I hated the smell of it. And this was nothing that ever appealed to me, and I face plant right there. Stupid. And as far as the drinking goes, just never really found anything I cared for the taste of. So, well, I do have some exciting news I can share with the stream as I jump over the balls. So we will be heading to the Missouri Game Con here in a couple months. Can't quite go into the detail and capacity, but I don't know that I'll have a booth there, but I will definitely be in attendance doing some coverage and possibly tied into some others who will be there too. Alright, now where's the start here? Or do I have to go through? I don't remember this. Also looking at, like I said, announcing a couple new partnerships here in the next week or so, hopefully. We have some stuff featured actually for a video that J-Love and I are going to collaborate on. So J-Love, you're about the only one who might have even a clue what those products might be. Oh, damn it. You know, it's really pathetic watching someone who's this bad at a game they beat years and years ago. I just don't remember what I gotta do. But at least it's better than watching me play a Star Wars game, right? Now, if you haven't had a chance to and kind of want to see what I do, well, we can't let you know about that yet, Nate. But keep an eye on it. We need, I actually need to film my part here. Oh, stop, good. I have to get my part filmed and over to Jen so she can kind of do her part. Now we're going to be able to do a little bit more than what we were planning to originally. Did your Star Wars get copyrighted? It did not. It got a claim for the music. I think that was it. Oh, it's the last one I got to go through. All right, I just saw it. And the other one I was actually a little bit worried about too was my review of Deadpool 2, because that was the first time I've done a movie review where I actually showed video or stills or anything in the background really, and I was worried that might get tagged, and it didn't, so it was all good. Dang it. I am so bad at this game. Why am I so bad at this game? I kind of feel like NES Addict playing Super Mario 3. But I've actually beaten this game many times, gotten all the coins. Some other future projects I'm working on. I've got everything to do it. I just need to sit down and do it. I'm thinking that I might do it on Friday or Saturday of this week, is how to do an RGB mod on the Super NES Junior. I've got everything, like I said, I just haven't had time. I'm hoping to get back into the 2 to 3 video a week schedule here sooner rather than later. Part of it, at least the on the horizon, it makes me have to sit down and probably the best other way around, but here. I guess I missed something there. What am I missing here, guys? Because I am missing something. Yeah, that dude was a tool, man. I don't care if you were dating Caitlyn or not, the way he was acting was just stupid. It just reminds me of back in the early days of online chat and everything. It was like, ASL, you're a pig, go away. I have no talent for that crap whatsoever. Alright, so guys, help me out here, because like I said, I feel like an idiot. What do I have to do? There's the sign, there's the sign. Sometimes if you pass through a coin ring or find a secret point in a course, a red number will appear. If you trigger 5 red numbers, a secret star will show up. So where the hell is this missing? I believe the mods always have... Yeah. Hey MLP, how you doing? These guys are just watching my futility in Mario 64 as I'm trying to remember how to get the last coin here. Yeah. Mario wings to the sky. Well, I mean, there's some of us that she should think less of. I mean, Jay is a perfect example. So earlier on there was some buffering and whatnot in the videos. Everything kind of looking fine now. Are we where we need to be as far as video quality, audio quality? I know this. Yeah, I mean, there's joking around if you know someone, but then that was just, yeah, it was over the line. Oh, I can't believe I landed that one. We have to do a triple jump to soar high into the sky. Use the control stick. You know what? I don't think I can complete this level at this point. I think I need to unlock the red, what you call it, the red blocks. Okay, let's exit course. guys are in the area. Ah. You know, like I said, this is one of those things where I've had a lot on my mind lately. Figure I'd throw a stream together and see who is out and about. So please enter the cottage first. Welcome to the snow slide. Hop on to speed up. Press forward on the coaster. Okay. Oh, it's just one where we have to slide down and not die. Ah, shit. Coins with me. Yeah, but you don't. You have to get the hat to be able to go up. You basically fly down, and then you have to kind of pop up to get the last one. If I remember right. Gotta love Mario 64 on an RGB-modded unit with HP Retrovision cables, man. Ooh. Whoa. And oh, damn it. I was so close.
Mamma mia.
I'm sorry, my level of suck is pretty high tonight. Well, every night. So, MLP, question for you. I just picked up a Dreamcast, and besides, like, Shenmue, what games do I need for it? It's quite honestly, right now I'm kind of struggling to find anything. It's like, yeah, I really want to play that. Especially being a non-RPG. The buffering screen can't keep us from having a good time. Is it still buffering? I am playing on a 48-inch POS Element Black Friday special. I'm in the same room where I normally film my videos in, Nate. And I can't blame the TV on the fact that I keep falling and dying, because that's just my suckitude there. So that's one of the things that, coming out of the race weekend, this past weekend, doing some of the announcing, one of the things that I like to throw in there every once in a while is those who can drive race. Those who can't drive or race tend to be mechanics, and those who can't be mechanics are race directors. So that was kind of my role, as being the race director and announcer throughout the whole thing. Jet Set Radio, I actually had a chance to get, and I didn't. But I think Adrian still has it. Crazy Taxi, I'm actually a bigger fan of the Simpsons Hit and Run. I've never been a really cool or really big fan of Crazy Taxi, or for that matter, Soul Calibur. Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird the way that you could get the N64 Mario suit, and it actually made you look like this Mario. Dang it. I didn't want to come in here. Alright, so I'll race you, fine. We'll get to this one first. Now, one thing that is nice is I've got that Brawler 64 controller, and quite honestly, the control stick is a lot better than the original one. Whoa, damn it. Yeah, I did not really like the earlier versions of Resident Evil, just because I didn't like the camera. I didn't get into Resident Evil until Resident Evil 4 on the Wii, quite honestly. Okay, awesome. Okay. And as weird as it sounds, actually one of them I do want to get is Daytona. You know one thing? Oop, no, come back here. Because I've watched, like, I know Norm has got a bunch of videos on the Dreamcast. Same with the My Life in Gaming guys and GameSack too, just to kind of get some ideas from them as far as what to consider. I know John Hancock has got something that he did with Metal Jesus as well. Dang it, lost it. I just got a GDE information. Well, and that was one of those things where I had a couple of people. It's like, dude, you need to get a Dreamcast. Get a Dreamcast. Dreamcast is awesome. It's like, I don't know any games for it because I never had one back in the day. So, like getting a Genesis, getting a Sega CD or a 32X, it's like at least I knew some games that I wanted and wanted to play. But through the Dreamcast, it's like I don't know what I'd want to play. I mean, I'll say, like, quite honestly, even just for the GameCube, there's so many great games that, you know, I had or wanted back in the day, but that was an easy purchase. And even my N64 that I've got here now, and there's so many amazing titles. But the Dreamcast is like, And I'm not trying to just be like a Nintendo fanboy. Oh, Nintendo's better than Sega. It's just, I really don't know what to look for that system. Like I know I want to get my hands on a Mega Drive, and like there's 4 or 5 games I know I want for it. And unfortunately, there's no Earthworm Jim for it. Otherwise, I would go for that. It's actually one of the reasons why I want a Saturn is because of the copy of Earthworm Jim on it. So there's a ton of awesome games. Way more. I love that. Okay. And I hate to say, I know one of the reasons why people. Hey, Dodo. Take a screenshot of an error I'm getting right now, guys, because I've gotten it a couple of times, and I want to be able to fix it. Let me show you. Like I say, I'm not trying to crap all over the Dreamcast. It's just like, what do I want for it? Oh, another thing too, I'm sorry, is that I know kind of like on the Major Strong Gust. Right, throw the cannon for you. Beautiful. I know that you can do you know, you can make deuces and play backups and everything. Damn it. That's one thing that some people have said to do with is just get CD-ROMs and burn games. I don't want to do that. So I'm also debating too this weekend whether or not I'm going to do an E3 prediction, or too many people do like prediction videos that don't really add much to the conversation, I'd say. What I might actually do is just, what do I want to see? Might be a more unique take or look at it. Like, there's definitely games that I want to see that I know for a fact I won't see. I would love to see Earthworm Jim on the Switch. It ain't gonna happen. I'm one of the people, I really don't care about Pokemon on the Switch. But then I was never the part of the core audience for that game to begin with. Where's the penguin at? Because I remember it was just over here, I just saw it. Ah! Carrying around the penguin here kind of reminds me of Baby Mario and Yoshi's Island a little bit. Hey Turbo, how you doing? These guys are just watching me be terrible at Mario 64. There we go. Solid Nate, thanks so much for the donation, man. That's awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Got another star. Sure, we might try to get one more before I go lay back down. It's 1 o'clock now. Sorry about that. I'm going to try to do one or two of those lunchtime live streams a little bit more as time goes on, too. It's one of those things that I've been so busy at work that, by and large, I have not even been able to take lunches lately, so... Although, one of the cool things is we just bought our biggest competitor back at the end of March, and we're now moving into their facilities, and I'm actually a lot closer to the two retro game stores in the area, Live Action Games, and, you booger. Live Action Games.
Game over.
Ugh. And Disc Replay.
Okie dokie.
I don't know that I've actually gone through all my lives on Mario 64 before. That's really sad. It's actually kind of pathetic. But But yeah, if I can get back to actually playing more on a regular basis, and just doing streams, that'd be good.
Go.
So again, I do want to thank all you guys for stopping by. Make sure if you haven't done so, I know I see a lot of new faces in here. Go ahead and smash that like button. Go ahead and, if you want to give us a share and a subscribe too, that is of course always appreciated. We've got some exciting stuff coming up. I've got 2 collaborations planned out that I just need to actually sit down and film, at least my part of it. One with NES Addicts with Jay, and one with Jay Love. And hopefully have some cool stuff going there. And working on getting some new product reviews coming into the channel. Like I mentioned earlier, we've got 2 new partnerships I'm hoping that I can announce here on the channel really soon. And one of the reviewers, or one of the companies I'll be working with, hopefully it will be able to help me help other people with their channels too, with some of the equipment that you can use. Make sure you're getting good results out of your channel and everything. Oh, thanks, Game Beaters. Turbo, that is awesome. Did you happen to see my 2 videos this week? I want to know what you think of the quality. I did not, but before I go to sleep tonight, I will, and I'll leave you comments on both of them. How's that sound, bud? I have about the only videos that I've watched this week, quite honestly, was John Riggs posted something new today, and I checked that out. And other than that, I have to admit, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, and with everything going poorly for Solo, I've kind of watched some of the channels out there, like World Class Bullshitters, Geeks and Gamers, and I forget what the guy's channel, and it's Mad Max, I think is what it's called, just to kind of see some of the fallout from that. The Geeks and Gamers channel is kind of interesting. It's also a bit odd to see the, I don't want to say the attacks, but the criticism on one side and the out-and-out defense on the other of Kathleen Kennedy from Lucasfilm, who I think has done a terrible job with Lucasfilm since taking over. There's a very famous picture of her with the shirt that says "The Force is female," kind of showing a political agenda. It's one of those where I don't think the Force is gender specific myself, but I think since she has taken over LucasArts, you've seen most of the male characters be weak or evil or idiotic, and you know, one of the things I don't like about the first 2 movies. Can you watch this? Web. I don't understand the question of the gamer. I don't like the fact that like Rey's character is just instantaneously good at everything. There's no progression. There's no growth to her character because of the fact that she's so dynamically good immediately. Like, you know, she can fly the Millennium Falcon, and they don't even know if she's flown a ship like that before. Or she can automatically beat Kylo Ren with a lightsaber when she's never held one before. It's just, there's a lot there that I'm just not a fan of. I also look at it too, like the new Star Trek movies. I don't care for them either, because they've basically taken 60 years worth of canon and took a big old hearty whiz all over everything Gene Roddenberry ever come up with. I'm just, yeah. And it could be that I'm just getting too old, and I will admit that. But then again, you know, there's a place for that too. You don't forget your legacy for your future. So let's see here. Can you watch the like the video? Yep, I appreciate. Oh, Liberals, I saw you in here earlier. Hated Luke's end. It wasn't just his end story. So if you want to see a really good take on The Last Jedi, look for how it should have ended, and their video that they did on The Force Awakens, or The Last Jedi. It's outstanding. I don't have as much of a problem with, like, when Leia gets blown out of the ship, that she actually, you know, survived. I can understand that to a point, and can accept new Force abilities, but at the same time, there's physics there. You know, when everybody went to rescue her, how they didn't get sucked out into space themselves, and that cabin basically completely decompressed. I just don't think it was good writing. I know a lot of people have criticized the fact that General Holdo would not tell Poe his plan. Well, she's a commanding officer. Until the plan needs to be executed, and you're key to executing said plan, you don't have a right to know what the plan is. And I really thought that when you see what happened in that movie, you kind of understand better what Mark Hamill said during early interviews, that you know, he basically liked what they did with everybody's characters except for his. I also think it's kind of interesting that initially the goal was to go with younger, more trendy, hip directors and everything for Solo and for Episode 9, and both those directors, or all three really, because you had two directors for Solo originally, which will go down as the biggest financial loss in the history of Star Wars, just because it was the most expensive Star Wars movie ever to produce. You know, they fired both those directors. They fired the director of Episode 9, Colin Trevorrow, and they're going with the old hands there, the tried and true, versus the trendy new hotness. See, I've never been a J.J. Abrams fan, ever.
Here we go!
And I think a lot of that is I was never... I can hear power stars, so I can open the big door, but Bowser's just ahead. Can you hear the princess calling? Mario, can you hear me? Deadpool reference there for anyone paying attention. And I know one of the things too that they're claiming a lot is, well, this is Solo didn't do well because of Star Wars fatigue. Explain. So we've had 4 Star Wars movies since Disney took over, right? And supposedly after 4, we're already fatigued. But we're at 20 movies now, I think, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And the Avengers came out just 3 or 4 months after Black Panther, and it is, you know, quite possibly going to be one of the highest grossing movies of all time. Yes, he is doing his own separate trilogy, and I have no interest in seeing it. I would much rather see Dave Filoni who did Rebels and the Clone Wars animated series, get a trilogy. I think he'd be phenomenal at it. I think he has an exceptional talent for storytelling. I think he understands the universe better. I don't think I've seen anything Filoni has worked on that I didn't like. Dang it. I mean, even, has anyone in here not seen Solo or doesn't want any Solo spoilers? I was going to get into something here real quick, but if someone hasn't seen it and they want to be surprised, just let me know. Basically, I'll give you 30 seconds from now to say something just with the delay here. Because there's one character development in that movie that can be directly credited to Dave Filoni. Alright. 15 seconds till a spoiler. Ten seconds to the spoiler. Well, let me ask you, DOA, did you watch either the Clone Wars or Rebels? Because if you did, then it won't be a spoiler to you. I'd love to see a Knights of the Old Republic trilogy. I'd love to see anything that kind of gets back into the older lore of any of that. You know, I think it was kind of telling that they so early announced here that they're going to do a Boba Fett anthology movie. Alright, so here it is, and again, if you watched Rebels or the Clone Wars, you already know this, but, and this is actually from when George Lucas was still involved, is the fact that Darth Maul actually survived his battle with Obi-Wan Kenobi on Naboo. He basically went crazy for a while on a junk planet. And had his home planet is called Dathomir, and there is a group of force-sensitive witches, basically, that's the best way you can describe them, called the Nite Sisters. And basically, Mother Townsend is literally his mother, but also like the leader of Dathomir and whatnot. And basically, she used the Force to give him... He got magic legs, Lieutenant Dan. But it was cool to see that come back, or have Maul come back, along with the fact that you had Ray Park once again play him. I mean, I saw The Phantom Menace 9 times in the theater. I'd said that in other streams in the past. And the main reason I saw it 9 times in the theater, besides it's all we had and I was happy to have it, was the fact that I thought Ray Park just did an amazing job as Darth Maul. And I'm also really glad, too, that Sam Witwer, who does the voice of Darth Maul in not only the animated series, but originally did the voice in Star Wars The Force Unleashed. And basically, he got rewarded with doing the voice of Maul again, but this time in a movie. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'd like to see him expand on Maul. I'd like to see him expand on the Night Sisters, and Ventress is another character from the Clone Wars. That would be kind of neat to see. I'd even like to see just a Rogue Squadron movie. I mean, give me a good, gritty war movie. A lot of people who are, and this is really just going into Star Wars from Mario, sorry. but I know a lot of people were not big on Rogue One because it was predictable and you knew it was going to happen, and it was all from a sentence in the crawl that this movie was out of and nobody wanted it, and so on and so on and so forth. I actually really enjoyed Rogue One. I thought it was a neat, gritty Star Wars, an actual war movie in this universe. I look at people, some people have denounced the critics of The Last Jedi, saying, well, they didn't like the fact that we took risks. Well, I thought that Rogue One actually took a lot of risks. I think it was smarter with the risks that it actually took. The fact that they killed off every major character, you pretty much had to do. Damn it. Pretty much. See, I didn't care for Ezra. I thought he was a bit whiny. I mean, like, more so than Anakin was. I'd actually like to see him go through and do a proper Anakin story between Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith. I thought the portrayal of Anakin in the Clone Wars animation was outstanding, actually, and instead of just being, this little whiny bitch, for lack of a better term, you actually understood what was going on with his character. But that again is Dave Filoni doing some really creative things and allowing the characters to grow and have faults and develop those. One of the most popular characters now is Ahsoka Tano. Completely a character that fans hated initially. They thought that she was too sniveling, too much of a wise ass, just didn't fit in within the canon. And now those who are fans of the series couldn't imagine the series without her. Well, I think the plot for Rogue One was pretty much given up in A New Hope. The one thing I will say, and this also may be a little bit sacrilegious, is I don't think James Earl Jones needs to be the voice of Darth Vader if they do have him in any further movies. And this is going to, again, sound like, say, sacrilegious. I would get Chad Vader to do it. If you're familiar with Chad Vader at all. He actually does a really good Darth Vader. And just James Earl Jones, quite honestly, and again, I love him, and I will always appreciate what he brought to the role. He is just, you can hear the age in his voice, and it loses some of the edge. You know what I mean? About Ahsoka if they haven't, just already into the films. Yep, I would like to see something from Ahsoka. There were rumors that, what was her name? So, I can't remember the actress's name. If you've seen Clerks 2 at all, she was the one basically that got pregnant with Randall's baby. I just can't remember what the actress's name is off the top of my head. They were actually in talks to have her play Ahsoka. Stars to appear in all films from the main series. No, because he didn't. The only characters, because Darth Vader, if you think about it, was not in episodes 1 and 2. The only characters that had that honor until Solo was R2-D2 and C-3PO. They had been in every single Star Wars movie. And Solo breaks that, whoa, holy glitch, man. Basically broke that tradition. And you know what? I love CastlemaniaGames.com. Ryan is here. Did you get my text the other day, by the way, showing kind of the size and scale of those cars? Did that make sense? The guys from Game of Thrones. Yes, well, I forget if they're making a trilogy or if they're making the TV show, because there's a TV show too coming. Oh, don't. Talking as well as the Anakin version. Oh, well, because you figure, well, he was in Rogue One. Anakin was in all 3 prequels and then the 3 original. No, because Darth Vader was not in The Force Awakens. The helmet was. Yes, oh, thank you. I hated no yellow writing. Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things they've come out and said that only the saga films will get the crawls. But if you're going to do text like that, just do a crawl. I mean, really, I thought it was stupid. It didn't bother me, but I just looked at it, it's like, okay, so you're not going to have a crawl, but you're still going to have text. Dumb. His ghost was which counts. No, it wasn't. Where was Anakin's ghost in The Force Awakens?
Here we go! Here we go!
But no, I mean, it's like I mentioned, I would honestly completely and totally recommend. Good night, Resistance. Thanks for stopping by. Going and checking out how it should have ended, and their kind of their video that they did on The Last Jedi. Alrighty, guys, so I am going to hit the hay myself as well. I need to double check here. Turbo Jesse, I will check out your channel. Magnus, you have got like the worst timing. It's like the second or third time you come in just as I was saying goodnight to everyone. By the way, did you have a chance to watch any of the announcing? His wife's his ghost, not his techno ghost, but oh yeah. Yeah, you hear the respirator in the scene at Maz's castle. Magnus, did you have a chance to check out any of the racing that I did this past weekend? So this is a legit question, not trolling. I'm hearing people say that The Last Jedi was ruined by politics. Okay. So I'm going to set the controller down, and we're going to have a little talk. So I look at it less about politics and more about, I guess in a way, gender politics. So the fact, to me, looking at it, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier before you came in, Ryan, is the fact that if you look at the 4 new movies since Disney bought them, the men in the movies are either bumbling buffoons and idiots, they are evil, or they are incompetent. The women are the strong leaders, they are the ones who make all the right decisions, they are the rational ones, they're the ones pushing things through. The entire Canto Bite scene, I found offensive as someone who is a conservative with libertarian leanings that's also very much a capitalist. They basically were indicating that, well, the only way that you can get ahead is on the backs of other people. And the political agenda there didn't need to be in there. I look at the prequels. Most people don't realize that there were shots at Trent Lott and Newt Gingrich in the prequels. Newt Gunray was named specifically after Newt Gingrich, and Lott Dodd was after Trent Lott. And in Revenge of the Sith, there is a line where Anakin basically is telling Obi-Wan before they're going to fight on Mustafar that Anakin basically says, if you're not with me, then you're my enemy. And then Obi-Wan responds with, only a Sith deals in absolutes like that. And that was pretty much a direct quote from George W. Bush that he gave in one of the State of the Union addresses, basically saying, if you're not with us, you're against us. The original actor for Chewie, the same one in Solo film, no. In fact, as of The Force Awakens, Chewie has been handed off to a different actor now. I don't like Rey for a few reasons. First of all, there's no there, and by that I mean there's no depth to the character. She's just automatically good at whatever she does. In the original 3 movies, Luke took a true hero's arc, where he went from a naive farm boy to being a, for lack of a better term, a grand wizard. Not like, hoods and masks and whatnot, but you know what I mean. He went through and he learned from his mistakes. He went through and had training. Versus, if you look at the scene in The Last Jedi, there's a conversation between Luke and Yoda where Yoda tells Luke that Rey has already learned everything that she needs to know. How? There's no filler there to explain how she automatically she got so good at it. Now, I've heard and read reports supposedly that if she has physical contact with a Force user, no, because Ezra went through growth. Ezra went through a maturing process, and you can see the character at the beginning of Rebels is extremely different from his character at the end of the series. Rey, you don't see that arc. You don't see how she's just automatically a good swordsman with a lightsaber. She just can automatically move rocks with the Force. She can just use the Jedi mind trick on 007, Craig, I can't remember his first name. But, I mean, it's just all of this. Yeah, no kidding there. I want to like Rey. I can see elements that could be very redeeming for her, but the fact that she is the very definition, and I know it's cliche to say it, but of a Mary Sue who is just automatically good at everything that she does. She can fly the Millennium Falcon and may never have flown before. I think Daisy Ridley is a really good actress and is doing a lot with what she's been given. But the fact that she knows how to fix the Millennium Falcon better than Han Solo, who owned the ship for decades, versus she's been on the ship for 5 seconds and knows how to remove the compressor to make sure that the hyperdrive doesn't go boom. Daniel Craig, thank you, Jesse. That is what I was thinking of. There's just so much there that there are many leaps of faith, and even in the Clone War, or in the prequels, the dialogue was terrible. But you saw progression from, this is this kid on Tatooine that's getting rescued and being taken in under the wing of the Jedi Academy, and you see the personality conflicts there. You see the growth even from Attack of the Clones, which is by and large hated. I don't think it's that bad. And Revenge of the Sith, which I actually think is a pretty decent Star Wars movie. You see character growth in Anakin Skywalker throughout that. Even Obi-Wan, you see growth throughout all of them. From him being an impetuous Padawan to being one of the most respected Jedi on the council. I would also say, too, not that you have, I hate, oh, you need to read the books to understand it. I like reading the books to the movies, or ones that revolve around it. There is a Darth Plagueis book out there. I can't remember what it may just be Darth Plagueis. It's not considered to be canon anymore, but basically it walks you through the story of Palpatine as a youth. And this, I would love to see a Palpatine movie. It shows how he grew up as the son of a wealthy family and got into politics and met Darth Plagueis, and how he got involved and interested in the dark side. And basically, the end of the book is the beginning of the Phantom Menace, and it's really good. I don't hate the Phantom Menace, I really don't. I would honestly say I would rather watch the Phantom Menace than any of the 4 more recent Star Wars movies. Here's the other thing that most people, this is going to blow most of your minds. The first 6 Star Wars movies were all independent movies. Yes, George Lucas had the first one. You could argue that it wasn't, and he had distribution through 20th Century Fox, but those are all independent films. He was super awkward. I don't think Jake Lloyd was the right choice for that. Really, what they could have done is combine the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones into one movie. Have a time skip somewhere in there, and then have Revenge of the Sith actually be the second movie, and then have your gap of 25-30 years between Revenge of the Sith and The New Hope, where you could have actually had another story there showing, how the Empire came to power, how basically the effects of Order 66, and almost in the way that Rogue One dumped us off right at the prologue of A New Hope, you could have done something very similar with that. Best 3 Star Wars movies after Return of the Jedi are Knights of the Old Republic. Hold on here, Rex. Are you saying that Return of the Jedi is your favorite, or what are you saying there? And I'm not hating on you. I have a question regarding that, because if you're saying Return of the Jedi is your favorite, that is not a very common held opinion. Space Wizard is like Muppets. That's Star Wars for me. That's funny. Oh, the things made after Return. Okay. The reason why I say that, my favorite Star Wars movie is Return of the Jedi. And 90% about it is the attack on the Death Star and the Battle of Endor. I liked seeing the battles. I would probably go Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope. Actually, no, I would probably go Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Rogue One, The Force Awakens, Solo, and The Last Jedi. I am not hopeful about Episode 9 if Kathleen Kennedy is still at the helm. Solo is the first Star Wars movie I didn't go see opening weekend, or let alone opening day, since the prequels. I'm assuming that everything put to film after Lucas was surrounded by yes men and garbage. To a point, my favorite's Phantom Menace, and I didn't. And didn't the placement have 3 total books, or am I wrong? I only saw 1, or I only read 1. I have to go to bed. Have a good night, everybody. We'll try to catch a stream sooner next time. Magnus, I started this stream an hour ago just because I couldn't sleep, so that's on me for starting it late. Yeah, I'm just... What I would love to see him do is I would love to see Kevin Feige from Marvel put in charge of Lucasfilm, because they may have had some Marvel movies that people didn't universally love, but they never divided the fandom like Lucasfilm has done with Star Wars fans. I mean, even like the not so good Marvel movies, I look at Captain America, the original one, not very good. The first Thor, borderline bad. But, I mean, all the Iron Man, some people don't like 3. I think 3 was decent. The first 2 Iron Man were great. The Avengers movies have been fantastic. The second and third Captain America movies are probably 2 of my favorite. I loved Civil War, and Winter Soldier I thought was outstanding. So, can't blame Disney. Do not blame Disney on that. That's Lucasfilm, because if it was a Disney problem, then they would have fucked up Marvel as well. Oh, no problem, Ryan. Like I say, I've had a lot on my mind lately. So just have not been sleeping well the last couple weeks. Although I need to give you a call in the next couple of days too, so just to chat out a few things, like one of the 3 of the items we had talked about that you were going to be getting in at some point, and kind of just game planning when we're going to do that. I need to work on the back end stuff on that too, to make sure we can do what we want to do properly. So yeah, in fact, I wasn't even gonna do I didn't even do a solo review. My running book truly was Darth Bane. See, I have the Darth Bane first book, but that's it. And I read about a third of it. It was really good. It just was, all right, let's move on. Let's get on with it. I know, Ryan, I just don't want to bug you. You know that? You're always busy. Although, have you heard anything from the Retrocade guys yet? Or not Retrocade, Retro Fighters. And with this, after we get this done, I'm gonna go to bed myself. Messing with your ability to sleep, it's Jim. No, thankfully it hasn't been internet stuff. It's been real life stuff that's just kind of sucked. Chris, what I would recommend, if you haven't done so yet, is I would go back and watch Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars The Clone Wars, because there is some amazing storytelling about Darth Maul, particularly in both of them, really. I mean, you see the initial start of his new story, and then you see the conclusion of his story in Rebels. And like I say, Sam Witwer, who does the voice, is just phenomenal. I love him as a voice actor. He's actually the same guy that voiced Starkiller in The Force Unleashed. Yeah, I think the problem, DOA, with that is the fact that none of that is canon anymore, and I don't know that they're going to go there. Well, I can understand that too, man. So, alright, I'm going to call it a night. Jesse, I will look at your 2 videos, and then if I don't comment on them tonight... yes, Clone Wars was on Cartoon Network. That basically the 6th season was exclusively on Netflix after Disney bought out Lucasfilm. So, the whole series is on Netflix. Highly recommend it. It's one of the reasons, if you go to some of my early... Dash Render would be awesome. Shadows of the Empire. I wasn't a big Kyle Katarn fan, but I wasn't really involved in those games either. So the Clone Wars, if you look up Hello Greedo. I'm going to type it in here too. He's been going through and watching all of the Clone Wars, but there is a specific order that you watch them in, not the order in which that they were released, but they have basic groupings of stories. And I will tell you, there's the Darth Maul story arc is amazing, and there is a 3-episode arc on a planet where basically Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka meet up with basically the physical embodiment of the Force. You have the son, who is voiced by Sam Witwer again, who is the dark side. You have the daughter, who is the light side, and you have the father, who, after watching the Clone War or Rebels, there's a character called the Bendu. So you have the light side, who is the Jedi, the dark side, who is the Sith. The Bendu is the one in the middle. Well, the father is the one in the middle. And there's just some really good storytelling in that series. It's almost like Star Trek The Next Generation, where it took a season and a half, 2 seasons to find its pacing and its story arcs, but you can understand like why some of the fans care so much about Rex and Cody, 2 of the clone troopers that are in the stories. You get to see that some hints why people kind of thought that maybe Rey was a Kenobi, because Obi-Wan did actually have someone that he had feelings for. Just overall, between the 2 of them, I think the Clone Wars was actually the better of the 2 series, and part of it was I didn't care for Ezra as much, and even Kanan I didn't really like as much as the characters in the Clone Wars. I thought the Clone Wars characters just were deeper and more, just better characters, I would say. I think they were better executed. Alright, it's almost 2 in the morning. I have to get up in 5 hours. Jesse, I will watch your videos and I will comment. If I don't watch them tonight, I will watch them tonight, but if I don't comment tonight, I will comment in the morning, because I'll go back through my library and I will watch them again when I'm a little bit more awake too. So thanks everyone for hanging out. I appreciate it. Thanks for the Star Wars chat too. Maybe sometime we'll actually get some Star Wars gameplay going on. I have a Rex or Coda figure from when they were huge. Yep, I actually have 2 still in the box, Darth Maul figures from Episode 1. They're worth about $4.75 now. They've got the little communicator chip in there. So, alrighty guys, get some sleep. It's almost midnight on the West Coast. It is almost 3 in the morning on the East Coast, and it is almost 2 in the morning here in Champaign, Illinois. So with that, I am checked out, gone.